Welcome to English Ocean. Our unique and exciting stories will help you learn English quickly and easily. If you think that the love stories in modern romantic movies are exciting, then you definitely haven't heard of Cleopatra, the legendary Queen of Egypt, whose name immediately makes you think of secrets, power, and especially a never-ending series of heartbreaking love stories. Today, we will explore whether Cleopatra was a happy woman in love or just a queen with many sorrows, as people often say. Could a powerful, beautiful, and smart woman like Cleopatra find happiness in love? Or did her fame only bring endless tragedies? Let's dive into this dramatic journey and find out the answer. Part 1. Who is Cleopatra? Cleopatra VII, the last queen of Ptolemaic Egypt, is famous not only for her intelligence and political skills, but also for her complicated relationships with powerful figures in Roman history. But what many don't know is that she faced many challenges, not in war or power struggles, but in love. How could someone as smart as Cleopatra get into so many love troubles? You might be thinking, Cleopatra must have had men crazy for her, right? Well, get ready, because her love story is nothing like what you read in novels. How about you? Do you have a special person you like? Have you told them yet? Maybe share your thoughts with me. Part 2. Cleopatra and Julius Caesar, the love of the century. Cleopatra met Julius Caesar in 48 BC. Their love story began in a very special way, not through a romantic meeting in a palace, but when Cleopatra was brought into Caesar's palace, wrapped in a blanket, escaping from the pursuit of her brother, Ptolemy the 13th. You've probably seen lots of love stories where the hero saves the heroine and they live happily ever after, right? But wait, stop right there. This love story is more like an action movie, and there's no happy ending. What do you think of a strong, powerful man who ruled Rome? And more than that, he fell in love with Cleopatra, a woman who could make the whole world bow down to her. Their relationship wasn't just a short love affair, but a mix of power and charm. Cleopatra and Caesar ruled Egypt together while they were together. They even had a son named Caesarion, whom Cleopatra hoped would inherit Caesar's throne in Rome. However, after Caesar was assassinated in 44 BC, Cleopatra's life entered a painful phase. Do you think Julius Caesar really loved Cleopatra, or did he just see her as a power piece in his political game? Keep your thoughts until we continue to explore Cleopatra's other love stories. Part 3. Cleopatra and Mark Antony, strong but full of traps. Cleopatra met Mark Antony in 41 BC when Rome was facing a battle between powerful politicians. Mark Antony, who was in control of Rome after Caesar's death, decided to meet Cleopatra to discuss sharing power between Egypt and Rome. Their meeting was not just about love, but also about a political alliance. This time, Cleopatra didn't just love, but also fought with him in bloody wars. But don't imagine that they were the perfect couple. You might think, oh, now Cleopatra has found her true love. They love each other, fight together, and face danger together, and will live happily forever. But you'd be wrong. Behind their glorious battles was a mess of problems no one wanted. This relationship had a lot of drama, from political alliances to bloody wars with Augustus. Cleopatra and Antony fought in the Battle of Actium, 31 BC, but suffered a terrible defeat against Augustus's army. Mark Antony, with his deep loyalty, bet everything for Cleopatra. But in the end, both of them couldn't escape their tragic fate. Do you think Mark Antony really loved Cleopatra? Or was he just a man caught up in a power game she started? And why did they fail so badly? Cleopatra may have been famous for her leadership, but her love decisions were a bit strange. From having children with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony to always choosing powerful men, she seemed to be experimenting with strategic tricks. But could Cleopatra really find true love in a world full of irreplaceable men? Did Cleopatra ever doubt the feelings of the men in her life? Could these relationships change the way she saw love and power? Apart from Caesar and Mark Antony, Cleopatra also had complicated relationships with many other figures in Roman and Egyptian history. But these stories are less known or don't have clear details. These relationships may not be as romantic as with Caesar and Antony, but they definitely played important roles in strengthening Cleopatra's power and keeping Egypt stable in a chaotic time. One of the most interesting things about Cleopatra's story is the mix of love and power. This Egyptian queen wasn't just a symbol of beauty and intelligence, but also a brilliant politician. Each of her relationships reflected her power strategies. Did Cleopatra ever really love? Or was love just a tool to achieve her political goals? Cleopatra's life wasn't a fairy tale romance. Her loves, despite all the power and strategy, ended in tragedy and heartbreak. Maybe it was power that kept her from finding true love. Even though she was a queen, Cleopatra always had to face painful decisions and inevitable loss. These love stories, despite their attraction, ended in tragedy. That's why Cleopatra, despite being one of the most powerful queens in history, couldn't escape pain and loneliness in love. Her story isn't just about personal relationships, but also reflects deep lessons about how love and power can mix and control a person's life. Their love was like a beautiful song, but fate trapped them in the whirlpool of power. In the midst of luxury and silent promises, their hearts longed for freedom, but power held them tightly. They loved fiercely, but that love was like a small flame in a storm, ready to fade under the pressure of schemes and plans. And then one person had to choose: sacrifice love or fight against fate. But maybe, in a world where power decides everything, love never had a chance to win. English Ocean hopes that those of you who are in love will always be in control of your emotions. Love is always intense and full of feelings. We hope you always stay true to your emotions. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more simple English like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow our channel. Let's enjoy learning English together with amazing stories. See you in the next video.